Welcome back to Panda Audiobooks. The silence of the Great Void is about to be shattered by the sound of war. In our last episode, Wushuang stood his ground in a mental duel against a sword sovereign, earning a seat at the table of the higher realm elites. But the journey to the celestial trading hub has just taken a deadly detour. Today, we face the scourge of the void. Chapters 161 through 165 begin with the merchant ship being violently pulled out of its warp path by a massive gravity snare. A fleet of void pirates, led by the notorious Bone Crusher Kale, has surrounded the vessel. These aren't your typical bandits. They are rogue cultivators who feed on the spiritual energy of travelers. With the ship's defenses failing and the sovereign occupied with a hidden threat, Wushuang must step onto the hull of the ship and lead the counterattack. It's a battle for survival in the cold reaches of space. Chapter 161 starts right now. Chapter 161, Xianxia. Just as I expected. To deal with such a speedy and agile spirit beast, Waterdrop Sword Essence is the most suitable way. Wushuang smiled slightly. Raising the sword and churning up a wave, Wushuang appeared right in front of the demonic cloud leopard. The demonic cloud leopard's maroon eyes fiercely shrank. It waved its claws, barely managing to block the sword. But the sword move suddenly changed, using fiery wind sword essence and fiercely stabbing right through its body at an amazing speed. Puff! The demonic cloud leopard's body hit the ground with its aura fading. It was already dead. This caused a large uproar up in the air. Waterdrop Sword Essence. That boy has such high comprehension in Waterdrop Sword Essence. He has shown his comprehension in the Earth, Gale, and Raging Fire Sword Essences, even managing to combine the Gale and Raging Fire Sword Essences. But who could have expected that he also comprehended Waterdrop Sword Essence? Mastering 4 kinds of sword essence at the same time? Even those top-class experts were a little stunned. Mastering 2 essences is usually the limit for most warriors. Mastering 3 is considered the true limit. Then what does mastering 4 essences mean? This kid comprehended 4 sword essences. So bold. Palace Master White repressed a sigh of admiration, with no hint of blame in her eyes. She had recognized long ago that Wushuang was a super genius who was far beyond the average. Thus, he could not be judged using ordinary standards. His comprehension of Waterdrop Sword Essence is so profound that he was able to transition from it to the fiery wind sword essence. He could have killed that demonic cloud leopard earlier. So, why did he wait until now? Palace Master Black asked, then shook his head while smiling. At the top of the mountain. Right after killing the demonic cloud leopard, Wushuang squatted down to collect the core. But right when he squatted down, clap, clap, clap. The sound of clapping rang out abruptly. Wushuang's face stiffened. He looked over to where the sound was coming from and saw 2 figures walking slowly towards him. It's them. Wushuang's eyes constricted. He knew the 2 men. He had encountered one of them before. It's Xianxia and his big brother, Xianxia. Wushuang scratched his nose. The 2 men coming towards him were exactly Xianxia and Xianxia. Xianxia had been holding a grudge against Wushuang. The reason why Wushuang ranked 10th on the earthly dragon list, so to speak, was that he defeated Xianxia. At that moment, Xianxia had said that when the selection of battle began, he would return twice the disgrace he got from Wushuang. The 3-striped demonic cloud leopard had battle strength close to the profound yin void realm. And you killed it by yourself. Your strength really is outstanding, said Xianxia, who wore a gloomy smile with coldness in his eyes. What do you want? Wushuang looked at Xianxia, with a frosty expression on his face. He directly ignored Xianxia. With your strength, I wouldn't normally be interested in fighting with you for that core. But, there is bad blood between you and my little brother, and I can't pretend I don't know about you bullying him, Xianxia said. Wushuang, I told you over a month ago, that I will return what I got from you that day 2-fold. And the time for that is today, Xianxia roared with hatred. You'll return it to me 2-fold? With just the 2 of you? Wushuang looked indifferent. Not the 2 of us. I alone am enough, Xianxia said, with a hint of absolute confidence in his smile. Jian Wushuang looked over at him. Not long ago, Ouyang Haotian had defeated Mu Yingying, who ranked third on the earthly dragon list, and took her place on the list. His strength was undoubtedly formidable. But Jian Wushuang wouldn't bear him in mind with such a battle record. What surprised him was, why is Ouyang Haotian so confident? Why don't you come and try? Jian Wushuang's voice was cold, and the sword essence that once ceased was explosively surging from his body again. I won't let you down. Just as Ouyang Haotian's voice spread out, his figure rushed forward. He appeared in front of Jian Wushuang, with a streak of ice-cold light suddenly shining. He was holding a long pitch-black spear, its head glittering with a metallic luster under the sunshine, incomparably dazzling. Soundlessly, the long spear thrust towards Jian Wushuang. Water drop and earth essences. Jian Wushuang squinted his eyes. He recognized the water drop and earth essences. Not only that, they were combined together. Obviously, Ouyang Haotian was also an absolute genius who could combine two essences. Among the 68 geniuses who participated in the selection competition, there were no more than 5 who had achieved the combination of two essences. Ouyang Haotian was one of them. Humph! Jian Wushuang sneered and chopped out with his triple-kill sword, straight from the sheath near his shoulder. Shua! It cut through the air. The sword's edge landed directly on the ice-cold spearhead, with the fiery wind sword essence bursting to its limit. Pia! A blast roared. The long pitch-black spear tilted, but it quickly thrust out like poisonous snake's tongue. Shoo! 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 Whips of spear shadows stabbed toward Jian Wushuang in rapid succession, with each of the shadows aimed directly at his throat. Jian Wushuang, leisurely and unhurried, fended off the spears with the reincarnation sword skill. Clang! 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 The sound of continuous clashes burst out. The spear shadows were extremely fast and attacked at tricky angles, forcing Jian Wushuang to keep retreating. Dozens of spears thrust out. Although all of them were blocked by his reincarnation sword skill, Jian Wushuang has forced back tens of feet, until he finally crashed into a giant tree on the mountaintop. Crack! The giant tree, tens of meters high, exploded from the center. Jian Wushuang managed to regain his balance, then brushed the wood chips off his shoulder. He roused his strength, instantly causing the muscles and bones in his body to make loud cracking sounds. Then, Jian Wushuang looked toward Ouyang Haotian. His voice was cold and hard as he said, "Ouyang Haotian, please don't tell me this is all you've got." Oh. Ouyang Haotian raised his brows and said, "It's true that the strength I just showed is not a threat to someone like you, who killed a 3-striped demonic cloud leopard by himself." So an intense light flashed in Ouyang Haotian's eyes, then his body rushed forward like lightning. The ice-cold spear shadow pierced through the air like an electric drill, instantly appearing in front of Jian Wushuang. The same spear move? Jian Wushuang looked indifferent. It seemed to be the same as the first move Ouyang Haotian demonstrated just a moment ago, because the essence comprehension in the move was being suppressed. While, still being cautious, Jian Wushuang immediately chopped toward the spear shadow with his triple-kill sword. However, when the spear shadow collided with the triple-kill sword, Jian Wushuang's face changed immediately. Chapter 162, Half-Step Yin-Yang Realm. It seemed like the same spear move, but when the spear clashed with the triple-kill sword, Jian Wushuang sensed a tremendous power pass through his hand, instantly numbing his arm, and forcing him to quickly retreat. Jian Wushuang hit the trees behind him again. But this time, he didn't stop until he had smashed 3 giant trees. Jian Wushuang's forehead knotted as he frowned, and the blood in his body was slightly turbulent. His strength suddenly increased so much. Jian Wushuang looked towards Ouyang Haotian again, noticing a dramatic change in his spiritual power. His aura. Jian Wushuang's eyes froze. He could feel that the aura given radiating from Ouyang Haotian was far beyond the exceptional gold core realm, but still slightly below the yin-yang void realm. It seemed like something between the gold core realm and the yin-yang void realm. Half-step yin-yang realm? Jian Wushuang understood immediately. The realm between the gold core realm and the yin-yang void realm was the half-step yin-yang realm. It resulted when a gold core realm warrior forcibly repressed his realm when it was breaking through to the yin-yang void realm. But under normal circumstances, no one would choose to do so. After all, A gold core realm warrior would naturally strive to break through. Who would repress his own realm instead of ascending to the next level? Therefore, the half-step yin-yang realm was rarely seen in the Qianzong dynasty. Ouyang Haoqian was obviously in the half-step yin-yang realm. You noticed? Ouyang Haoqian sneered while looking at Jian Wushuang, then said, if it wasn't for the easternmost hunt happening so soon, I would have been in the yin-yang void realm half a year ago. But I suppressed my realm so I could join the hunt. Jian Wushuang, you do not understand the pain of suppressing your cultivation when you are able to break through to a higher level, do you? I sacrificed so much, just to perform better in the easternmost hunt. And you will be my first stepping stone. After killing you, my next goal will be Shui Yun. Ouyang Haoqian's voice rang out coldly as he was slowly walking toward Jian Wushuang. Up in the air, those top experts were also in a tumult. Half-step yin-yang realm? Is it the half-step yin-yang realm? This little guy from the Ouyang clan is amazing. These experts were quite shocked. The half-step yin-yang realm, although not a complete yin-yang void realm, was much stronger than the gold core realm. Brother Ouyang, this time the Ouyang clan has trained an extraordinary little guy, congratulations. With the cultivation at the half-step yin-yang realm and the combined earth and water drop essences, Shui Yun may be the only one with enough strength to overshadow him among the gold core realm warriors in this selection battle. There should be a place for this little guy in the 15 geniuses from this selection battle. He should also perform very well at the easternmost hunt. He might even be picked up by those old sects. If so, the entire Ouyang clan would gain great benefits. All these experts were complimenting him. The person receiving their compliments was a white-haired old man, the present master of the Ouyang clan, who was smiling from ear to ear while listening to their flattery. If a great genius from a clan joined an old sect, the whole clan would gain huge influence. The core disciples of those old sects will even be sought after by small empires like the Qianzong dynasty. On top of the giant mountain, Jian Wushuang was still struggling in his fight against Ouyang Haoqian. Shoop, 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 shoop. Streaks of spear shadows thrust coldly toward Jian Wushuang, each shadow piercing the air with immense power. Jian Wushuang could only fend off these spears by using the reincarnation sword skill to the limit of his ability, but the gap between their strengths was slowly exhausting him. My cultivation, which is in the profound gold core realm, is only on par with the exceptional gold core realm because my supreme gold core can enhance my power by 100-fold, but it still can't compare with the half-step yin-yang realm. Jian Wushuang shook his head. His current level of cultivation was not strong enough. If he could reach the exceptional gold core realm, with the support of his supreme gold core, he could match a normal yin-yang void realm, which was stronger than Ouyang Haoqian. But for now, he was still weaker than Ouyang Haoqian because he was in the profound gold core realm. Since I can't defeat him with strength, I'll have to depend on my comprehension. A billowing battle intent flashed in Jian Wushuang's eyes. In 7 days there would be a life-and-death battle between Shui Yun and him, and Shui Yun was far stronger than Ouyang Haoqian. If he could not defeat Ouyang Haoqian, then fighting Shui Yun would be the same as putting his head on the chopping block. Ha ha, go to hell. Ouyang Haoqian laughed as the spear in his hand began to change its movements. The spear sometimes slashed out, swung up, pounded down, and thrust forward with a cold light from time to time. The spear moves, perfectly combining the earth and water drop essences, was incredibly powerful. As he struggled to fend off the attacks, Jian Wushuang's face suddenly changed. Then he stared at the movements Ouyang Haoqian displayed, and his eyes flashed as he sensed the realm embedded in the spear moves. This spear move water drop essence. Water drop essence can be used this way? At this moment, Jian Wushuang had an epiphany. In the 2 years he meditated in the sword tomb, it took him only 1 year and 3 months to combine the Gale and Raging Fire sword essences. He spent the remaining time trying to combine a third sword essence. He had experienced some enlightenment during the following months. But, regardless of whether it was the Earth Sword Essence or the Water Drop Sword Essence, he was missing something crucial that prevented him from combining either of them with the sword essences of Gale and Raging Fire. It was indeed the little things that he missed that troubled him for a long time. But now, seeing the endless water drop essence that was bursting from Ouyang Haoqian's spear moves, Jian Wushuang was inspired, and the thing he was missing gradually became clear. Boom! The long pitch-dark spear struck out like a majestic mountain, which Jian Wushuang barely managed to ward off with his sword. A loud bang rang out as the power exploded, and then Jian Wushuang's entire body sank down into the ground. "Prepare to die, you little brat." Ouyang Haoqian laughed and then pierced forward with his spear, directly toward Jian Wushuang's heart. But Jian Wushuang suddenly hacked out with his sword, making Ouyang Haoqian immediately withdraw. "What?" Ouyang Haoqian looked at Jian Wushuang in surprise. At this moment, Jian Wushuang had already struggled out from where he had sunk into the ground and lifted his head. A touch of a weird smile emerged on his cold face. "I have to thank you, Ouyang Haoqian. If it were not for you, I would not have broken through so quickly." Jian Wushuang's eyes sparkled. At that moment, the triple-kill sword in his hand had the sword essences of Gale, Raging Fire, and Water Drop perfectly combined together. Chapter 163, The Combination of 3 Sword Essences. Breakthrough? Though Ouyang Haoqian's face changed, he still sneered and said it won't be enough to save your life. As soon as the words finished, Ouyang Haoqian launched another attack. A spear shadow immediately struck out like a flickering serpent's tongue. While watching this with cold eyes, Jian Wushuang clenched his triple-kill sword and combined the sword essences of Raging Fire, Gale, and Water Drop. The long sword instantly turned into a flowing light, slashing forward through the air. Selfless sword technique. The first move. Bang! The sword light collided with the spear shadow, splitting the inky long spear in half. Then the powerful sword light continued, hacking straight through Ouyang Haoqian. Whoosh! Jian Wushuang appeared beside Ouyang Haoqian at the same time. Speaking slowly with a cold voice, he said, "This is the first time I have used this move in the selection battle. Consider it your honor to be killed by it." After hearing what Jian Wushuang said, Ouyang Haoqian widened his eyes with an unbelievable expression, then his body slowly collapsed. It was not until Ouyang Haoqian landed on the ground that his blood began flowing from the center of his forehead. Looking closely, there was a huge sword scar that ran from the center of his eyebrows to the lower half of his body. This sword scar ended his life. Ouyang Haoqian, ranked 3rd on the earthly dragon list, in the half-yin-yang realm, was killed by a single move. In the air above the Cloud Mountain range, there was a tense atmosphere surrounding the many experts that were watching this battle. As they watched Jian Wushuang and Ouyang Haoqian continue fighting, they began talking and laughing. "Look! Those 2 guys are still going at it. Ha ha! Still? But it's obvious that Jian Wushuang is being completely suppressed. It's normal. In this selection battle, Shui Yun is the only one who is stronger than Ouyang Haoqian. As for the others, there's no one who could be his equal. Not the 2nd on the earthly dragon list, Bailey, Chen, and not Jian Wushuang either. This guy is really impetuous." It was understandable for him to have a fierce battle with demonic cloud leopard if you consider its strength. However, there is a distinct gap between them in the strength. He is just being foolish by fighting with Ouyang Haoqian. Does he want to die? Ha ha! He is a little silly. These experts continued talking casually, but Palace Master Black and Palace Master White showed unnatural expressions while listening to them. What the hell is he doing? Why isn't he escaping? He is obviously unable to compete with Ouyang Haoqian. Palace Master White's forehead scrunched up tightly. Then suddenly, something strange happened on the battlefield. Jian Wushuang forced Ouyang Haoqian to retreat with a sudden outburst from a single move. When such a fantastic move was displayed, those experts watching from above were all attracted by it. The sword light fell and Ouyang Haoqian died instantly. Silence. Dull. Dozens of experts had been watching this battle from above, and all of them were stunned at this moment. A few minutes ago, some of them regarded Jian Wushuang as foolish and impetuous, but now, Ouyang Haoqian had been killed in a single move. Was he really impetuous? Foolish? The combination of 3 sword essences. Seeing that, even the Emperor, Di Shi, who sat in the center on a throne, couldn't help standing up with a bright light flashing in his eyes. 3 sword essences? Exactly. That move didn't just contain 3 sword essences, it combined all 3 of them perfectly. He actually combined 3 sword essences in such a perfect way. It's no wonder he was able to increase his strength in such a short period. Those experts exclaimed in surprise. When combining sword essences, the power naturally became stronger. The power of 2 combined sword essences was much stronger than only 1 sword essence. As for the combination of 3 sword essences, the strength would increase explosively. Jian Wushuang used to conjecture that if he combined 3 sword essences, his fighting strength would at least triple. But his strength had actually increased by a factor of 5. This rapid improvement in strength made it possible for him to kill Ouyang Haotian, who was in the half-step yin-yang realm. It's extraordinary for a warrior in the gold core realm to combine 2 essences. No more than 5 people in this selection battle can combine 2 essences. Someone who can combine 3 essences is more truly an exceptional genius. She said in a low voice, and then he looked at Palace Masters Black and White, then asked, "How old is he?" "Your Majesty, Jian Wushuang is 19 years old this year," Palace Master White directly responded. "Only 19 years old? Not even 20 years old?" Even she couldn't help exclaiming after hearing his true age. The other experts were also shocked. Was it possible for a 19-year-old kid to combine 3 sword essences? "This young guy definitely has a promising future," she said. Hearing this, Palace Master Black smiled. It reminded him of what he had said when Jian Wushuang challenged the Dragon Gate. "He is very promising. If we give him chance to grow, he'll definitely become a top expert in Dragon Palace. Even ascending the Heavenly Dragon list will not be a question." However, as such an exceptional genius, he faced several assassination attempts from Blood Feather Tower. Palace Master White said in a cold voice, involuntarily looked at Grey Robe. "Assassination attempts?" Shi's face fell as he looked at Grey Robe. "Your Majesty, the assassination was ordered by the Tower Master, and it's a scarlet kill command. If there are any questions or issues, Your Majesty, you would have to speak directly with Tower Master," Grey Robe replied. Shi's pupil slightly shrunk. Although he was the monarch of the Qianzhong dynasty and the strongest expert ranked on the Heavenly Dragon list, he was unwilling to make contact with that Tower Master unless he had to. Simply put, the mysterious Tower Master of Blood Feather Tower was an insurmountable person. 2 years ago, when Dragon Palace crazily seeking revenge on Blood Feather Tower, that mysterious Tower Master personally went to Shi and convinced him to order Dragon Palace to stop. "Leave it alone." Shi waved his hand and then sat down again. But the other experts in the area were still having trouble recovering completely. At this moment, Palace Master Black and the Palace Master White were laughing loudly and feeling very delighted. Some people were happy, but others were distressed. Like the elder of Ouyang clan. This white-haired old man turned his face away with an extremely gloomy expression. His heart was full of joy just a moment ago. But the most excellent person in the Ouyang clan, the one that most likely to be accepted as an exceptional genius by those ancient sects, was killed in front of him. How could he not be angry? His heart was bleeding. Now, those experts who flattered and envied him before were all looking at him with pity. Chapter 164, 7 Days. At the summit of the mountain, while watching Ouyang Haotian's body fall down, Ouyang Haoyue's original cold smiling face instantly turned pale. Brother, how could it be possible? How? Ouyang Haoyue couldn't believe it. Just now, his brother completely overpowered Jian Wushuang. But in a matter of seconds, it had been reversed. His brother had died by Jian Wushuang's sword. Your brother is dead. Now it's your turn. Jian Wushuang's cold eyes suddenly looked towards Ouyang Haoyue. That look was enough. Ouyang Haoyue was scared out of his wits. He attempted to flee, but he was much slower than Jian Wushuang. A beam of sword light flashed past Ouyang Haoyue's body, instantly killing him. After combining 3 sword essences, Jian Wushuang could already kill Ouyang Haotian, who was in half-step yin-yang realm, with one move. Killing Ouyang Haoyue was a piece of a cake. The moment Ouyang Haoyue was killed by Jian Wushuang, a chair suddenly cracked up in the air. The leader of the Ouyang clan stood up, with his hair and long beard billowing out, generating an overwhelming aura. And his eyes were burning with fury. Seeing this, everyone understood why this white-haired old man was so angry, and they didn't say anything. Seriously. Though the Ouyang clan was one of the 7 top clans in Qianzhong dynasty, it was rare for such a genius to appear. They were lucky enough to have 2 geniuses born in this generation, and they were brothers. However, both of them were killed by the same person in this selection battle. If it was anyone else, they would definitely be angry as well. If it was anywhere besides the selection battle, the white-haired old man would have already killed Jian Wushuang. At the summit of the mountain, Jian Wushuang directly sat cross-legged on the ground and started recovering his spiritual power after killing the Ouyang brothers. These 2 successive battles had consumed a lot of his spiritual power. How are second brother and fourth sister doing? Jian Wushuang wondered, but he was not actually worried about it. With his strength, Xianxia could rank in the top 10 or above on the earthly dragon list. Even without being reckless, with his strength, it would not be difficult for him to get a core. After all, only those who ranked in the top 5 could threaten him. Among the top 5, Shui Yun, an exceptional genius, ranked first, and no one dared to challenge him. Therefore, as soon as he got a core, he would stop fighting. Bailey Chen was a disciple of Dragon Palace and ranked second. He would definitely not challenge Yang Zixuan. Ouyang Haotian, who ranked third, was killed by Jian Wushuang. Mu Yingying and Feng Yuqian, ranking 4th and 5th respectively, could threaten Yang Zixuan. However, even if Yang Zixuan couldn't defeat them in a head-on competition, he was able to save his own life. As for Su Ru, Jian Wushuang knew Su Ru had many secrets, and she was also full of tactics. All the warriors in the selection battle, even the strongest, Shui Yun, might be unable to truly kill her. I already have a core. I need to use the next few days to prepare for the battle with Shui Yun. Jian Wushuang's eyes were shining. The selection battle lasted for 7 days, and today was only the first day. Before the selection battle ended, he would definitely confront Shui Yun. Therefore, he needed to be well prepared. For that reason, he stayed on the top of the mountain and made his preparations for the battle with Shui Yun. Throughout the Cloud Mountain Range, the fighting and killing continued. On the first day in the Cloud Mountain Range, 68 Gold Core Realm experts experienced the fiercest and craziest fights over the 15 beast cores. Of the 15 spirit beasts, 3 of them almost reached profound Yin Void Realm, while the other 12 were in the initial Yin Void Realm. However, they were all killed within half a day. After the spirit beasts were killed, the Gold Core Realm experts fiercely fought with each other. Among the 15 mountains, fierce fights happened on the top of almost every mountain. In a single day, all 15 cores had been claimed and less than 30 Gold Core Realm experts were still alive in Cloud Mountain Range. 68 Gold Core Realm experts joined the selection battle. However, only a day later, more than half of them had been eliminated. Among those who were eliminated, 90% of them were killed in a fierce battle. Only a few of them left the Cloud Mountain Range, realizing that the selection battle was horrifying and because they lacked confidence. The remaining Gold Core Realm experts who didn't get cores lingered on, looking for opportunities. After all, the selection battle would last for 7 days. On the second day, it was quiet during the day. But during the night, a fierce fight took place again, after 3 experts joined together and sneak attacked another expert who possessed a core. Though it was not as fierce as the first day, several experts were eliminated. On the third day, there was a fierce fight in the Cloud Mountain Range that caused a lot of noise. It was the battle between Yang Zixuan and Ling Shui. Ling Shui, ranked 8th on Earthly Dragon List, had once competed with Jian Wushuang for a short time. While Yang Zixuan, who was unknown before and was not even on Earthly Dragon List, made his name known to all after this battle. During the battle, Ling Shui tried her best to keep the beast core. However, Yang Zixuan directly killed her with a thunderbolt attack. After the battle, the experts who were watching from the air thought Yang Zixuan was qualified to rank in the top 5. On the 6th day, the last day was almost here. All the Gold Core Realm warriors who did not have a core could not wait any longer, so they all acted. So did Su Ru. Su Ru had kept a low profile during the selection battle. It was not until the 6th day that she joined with some others and killed a warrior with a core. Then they fought for the core, which was taken by Su Ru. Then she was besieged by several Gold Core Realm warriors. However, even after they used all their skills, they could do nothing to her. She was like a ball of cotton which could not be crushed or smashed. In the end, she succeeded in getting a core. On the same day, Qing Kang, the disciple of Dragon Palace who ranks 6th on the earthly dragon list, was sneakily attacked by several gold core realm warriors and eventually killed. Other disciples of Dragon Palace could only feel sorry for him. Finally, it was the last day of the selection battle. After sitting at the top of the mountain for 6 days, Jian Wushuang opened his eyes, with a sharp light shining in them. It's the last day. Come on. After saying that, a sharp sword essence radiated from his body, soaring into the sky. Chapter 165. The Soaring Sword Essence. It has completely calmed down in the Cloud Mountain range. Everything was silent. Suddenly, an incredible sword essence rose like a giant dragon that has been sleeping for millions of years. The sky discolored and the earth instantly began to shake. Throughout the Cloud Mountain range, gold core realm warriors who had a core and those who do not, were both alarmed at this moment. This sword essence. What a terrifying sword essence. This simple sword essence frightens me to the core. It's so strong. Right now, among the people still alive in the Cloud Mountain range, there is only one person can release such a powerful sword essence, Jian Wushuang. The warriors were frightened, but at the same time, they also understood what Jian Wushuang wanted to say. With a sword in hand, no one is my match. Indeed, he had the strongest understanding of sword principle in history. Ha ha, it begins. Those experts who had gathered together in the air were now in an uproar. The battle between Jian Wushuang and Shui Yun will be exciting. Before, Jian Wushuang had absolutely no chance to win against Shui Yun. But now it's a different story. The combination of 3 sword essences qualifies him to fight against Shui Yun. Not only that, the outcome is unpredictable. These experts were discussing it. Before the selection battle, Jian Wushuang had met with Shui Yun once. But they were just greeting each other and Shui Yun did not use his full strength. At that time, people knew the two would have a fight, but no one had faith in Jian Wushuang. After all, Shui Yun was too strong. However, on the first day of the selection battle, Jian Wushuang's strength greatly improved when he combined 3 sword essences together. Moreover, he killed Ouyang Haotian who was at the half-step yin-yang realm with 1 sword move, which made everyone realize that his strength was strong enough to fight against Shui Yun. Today was the last day of the selection battle. This day only belonged to Jian Wushuang and Shui Yun. A battle between peak geniuses, that rarely appeared each decade in the Qianzhong dynasty, was about to start. After the incredible sword essence soared toward the sky, creating a loud booming sound, a terrifying aura rose from the peak of another mountain. This aura was cold and dark. It seemed that this aura could swallow everything in the universe. The instant that the aura rose, the world turned dark. The master of this aura naturally became the king in this world of darkness. A sword essence that could control the world. An aura that could swallow everything. They rose and confronted each other from a great distance. The whole world became silent, and all the warriors in the Cloud Mountain range were holding their breath. Staring at the soaring sword essence and the terrifying dark aura, no one dared to say anything. No one dared to move at all, for they were afraid that the slightest movement would make them a target for the soaring sword essence and the dark aura. When the sword essence and aura finally reached their peaks, dung, dung, deep footsteps were heard. Although the sound was very low, within the silent Cloud Mountain range it was like a huge drumstick beating on the hearts of everyone, making every warrior's throat go dry. The summit battle. Standing at the peak of one of the mountains, Yang Zixuan watched everything with great intensity. Although he was supercilious, when he saw the soaring sword essence and dark aura, he did not dare to get involved with them. This is the battle between the greatest geniuses in our Qianzhong dynasty. Bailey Chen also sighed. Unfortunately, the one fighting against Shui Yun isn't me. The moment that Jian Wushuang's soaring sword essence was released, he knew that Jian Wushuang was stronger than him. Third brother. Standing on a high place, Su Ru frowned slightly. There was a little expectation but even more worry in her eyes. Outside the Cloud Mountain range, near to the edge of the mountains, a large number of warriors was gathered. The last few days, these warriors had been standing here watching the Cloud Mountain range. Although there were few things they could see, they were still very excited, and their enthusiasm was not reduced at all. When the soaring sword essence and the dark aura suddenly appeared, the crowd became excited. That's Jian Wushuang and Shui Yun. Ha ha, the last day, on the last day, these two monsters are finally going to fight. The summit battle. This is the battle between two peak geniuses of the Qianzong dynasty. This battle is bound to be written into the Millennium Chronicle of the Gladiator Arena. I have been waiting so many days for this unprecedented battle. Numerous warriors were shouting in excitement and shock. This was a battle that would shock the world. Even if the battle had not yet begun, the soaring sword essence and the dark aura that could swallow everything were enough to make them crazy and excited. It remains unknown who will have the last laugh. Ling Feng, looking a little pale, was also standing at the edge and staring forward. He was also one of the Gold Core Realm warriors who participated in this selection battle. However, he only spent one day in the Cloud Mountain range before giving up without any hesitation. He understood the horror of this selection battle very well. Now, the two strongest candidates were going to fight. Senior brother. Next to Ling Feng, Jian Meng'er clenched her teeth, her heart filled with unwillingness. One of the participants that drew everyone's attention at this moment was the person that she had once looked down upon from the bottom of her heart. She even thought he was trash and would never have any good prospects in his lifetime. But now, this man had already gone somewhere far beyond her reach. Even if it was Lin Feng, who she adored, he was far from being able to compare with that person, let alone her. If I had left him some leeway at that time? Jian Meng'er thought of this, but she did not dare to think further. She knew that Jian Wushuang had a trace of affection for her when they were young. If she was not so self-conceited at that time, or she left a little leeway for Jian Wushuang, perhaps they would be together right now. But now, everything was gone. Rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat, rat-a-tat. The footsteps were heard constantly. Under everyone's gaze, two figures slowly walked out from two different directions. One of the figures had turned into a sharp sword, shattering the earth and flying to the ninth heaven. Another figure was just like a behemoth from legends that could swallow everything, overwhelming everything in the universe. The two people had already become the focus of everything. With only a kilometer between them, the two appeared in the vast plain in front of the Cloud Mountain range. At this moment, they both looked up at nearly the same time, as if their real eyes collided in the air. Whoosh! Suddenly, Jian Wushuang's body disappeared. Zoom! Shui Yun's body disappeared at the same time too. Where are they? All the warriors watching this incomparable battle were confused. But suddenly, at the very center of the plain, a terrifying sword light that could tear apart the heaven and earth collided with a blood-red blade that could swallow the universe. Suddenly, the sky split and the ground cracked. And with that final, devastating slash that cleaved the pirate flagship in two, we conclude Chapter 165. Wushuang has saved the merchant ship, but his display of power was a double-edged sword. Every survivor on that vessel now knows that he possesses a sword Dao that rivals the sovereign's. The Bone Crusher is dead, but his dying words revealed a terrifying truth. The pirates were hired by the Divine Sovereign Scouts to flush Wushuang out. There is no more hiding. The hunters have found their prey, and they are closing in from all sides. Join us next time for chapters 166 through 170, as the ship arrives at the Celestial Trading Hub, and Wushuang must enter a deadly tournament to win a void map that leads to his father's prison. Thank you for listening to Panda Audiobooks. If you're ready for the next level of the tournament arc, hit that like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell.